Hey guys, it's pretty windy today, so I'll apologize in advance if the sound quality isn't ideal. So today's project is upgrading my self-watering herb garden or self-watering containers. I use these containers for my herbs. Last year was the first year, and I had mediocre success, partly because of they didn't retain a lot of water, but the other part is critters, which I have another game plan, different video for that. These containers are like most of the ones that you find pretty much at, Costco, Sam's Club, a lot of the retailers. I forget the brand. These are made out of some kind of recyclable rubberized material. I think they make them out of recycled tires, and it's a pretty good brand. I found these on clearance, and the middle one's a little different, but since I have five, it kind of offsets it. Same brand, same basic container, same size. Um, and what the problem was with these is, you'll see how this is constructed. There is an inner pot, which is held on by a little small retainer clip, which I just popped it off with these needle nose pliers. You can use a screwdriver. Again, common with a lot of these. And this is not serviceable from, from the manufacturer. On the bottom, they have like this plug that you pull out, which allow water to drain. And you fill this with potting soil, you get it nice and wet. And since this has got like almost like a hydroponics pot, it goes further down, and the theory is it wicks up. And it's got this drain, and that's where the plug came out of the bottom. And what this does is once it gets to that water level and it gets past that, it drains out. Well, multiple problems is it worked good for like a week or two. Being flat on the ground and on the bottom, you can't see when it's full. And it would plug up. I would mess around with it. These pots were either too wet or too dry, but I think I have a fix for it. And I see a lot of guys building their own self-watering containers, and you can do that. If your container doesn't have one of these, you could just make your own out of a spare container, a piece of plastic. Cut the top out, use a netting cup for hydroponics, or even a plastic or a cup that you could drill some holes. So you could do a lot of different things, and it should work for you. So what I'm going to do is I picked up some 3/4 inch PEX tubing, and they have a few different colors. I went with white. You can get it black. I wish you had black, but you get it white, blue, red, at least from Lowe's. And that was $4 or $5 for 4 or 5 foot. I got two. I think it's about 5 feet. So like $10. What I'm going to do is I have a 1/4 inch drill bit, and I have some cutters. And this is PEX cutters, but you could use a hacksaw. You could use your hand saw, anything you want. That stuff cuts very easy. And then I have a 7/8 spade bit to drill the hole. I have one done over here. All I'm going to do is take this out and drill either here or here, probably over here, just because it's a little bit more rigid with this piece, and it matches. I will drill it through here, and yeah, I think I drilled it through there. Let me check that one. So I just went and dumped the dirt out of this one so you guys can get a better visual. So you guys can see there, 3/4 inch pipe, and it fits really snug, like perfect. And it just inserted in here, and I got like a 40. When I cut it on a 45. The reason being is if you push this down the hole, if it was cut completely flat, it would be hard to get the water in. This gives you about a 3/4 inch or so opening that the water will be easy to go through. And the theory behind this is you always water it from the bottom. Once the soil gets wet, it should, if it's a decent soil, and I'll use this is like a mix of potting soil and peat moss. If it gets nice and wet, it should wick up. That's the concept. And I'll just fill from the bottom. And when it's full, it just shoots out the bottom. It lets me know that it's full of water, and every few days I just top it off. So I'm gonna go ahead and do this one. So this one goes here. And for this, to make sure I know which side is which here, so I want them to match. So the hole was in the back, and I'm going to drill here. Well, I got my 1/4-inch drill. I'm going to drill the hole in here first. So all I'm going to do on this one, I don't have to measure too much because I can look at where the tabs are and where the existing hole is, and I'm just going to go out right next to that. It's hard to do this on camera, but I'm just going to go. Oh, it's walking on me a little bit. Drilled the hole. That will work. So now I'm going to switch this bit over. Make sure I know which side is which. Double check it. And then I'm going to just want it as close. I'm just going to push this in here while I drill, just so it has, I'll cut my finger, so it has some kind of a base backing to it when I drill. There we go. Got my hole. 7/8 inch hole. And there's my pipe. I'm going to cut off on an angle. Like that. Now I'm going to insert this. Fits really nice. It's snug. There's a little piece of plastic in here. Oh, there we go. That fits good. And now I'm going to make a straight cut. Some extra plastic. At the top of this. I'm not even going to measure. I'm just going to use the blade as my guide. The blade is resting on the top of this. Cut it off clean. And that's it. Another one done. So I'm going to go ahead and do this to the rest of the 3, and I'll fill this back up with dirt. And after that, I'll show you guys hopefully how this works, if it works right, and the final outcome. All right, so if this one is planned, I'm going to fill them up with water. I probably will use this hole, but it should fill up and then go outside of the I don't see it streaming, so. Oh, it's coming out. Just in the middle. Water, water. This one, oh, it's still draining. You can see that one. Still draining. That's where I want it. Yeah, that one's still draining, but that's how I know they'll be full. It's not wanting to focus, is it? But here we go. So my plan is I'll come through here, fill it at these top reservoirs with my water can or the hose. And yes, it will come up from the bottom a little bit, but then it'll drain back down. And that's what I want. It'll get the bottom wet, it'll drain, and hopefully wick up from here. But I won't know until the end of this year to see if these are even, if they work. The other thing you can do, I see people do, is you can tie a rope on the bottom, and if you're not getting good wicking, is you can do that as well. That's, oh yeah, you know what? That's it for the build. I'm gonna go ahead and fill these with soil. I have a couple plants that I want to put in, and I'm gonna do cilantro, mint, basil, and I'm gonna do thyme and rosemary, but I don't have any thyme and rosemary. I have to seed some of those. But let me go ahead and fill these back with the soil. I just dumped the soil in my wheelbarrow and throw some plants in here. All right, guys, just wrap up this video. I filled up all of the containers with soil. I planted my mint, which is on the right, and at the far left, basil. I still have to plant my cilantro, and as well as I have to go buy some thyme and rosemary. But I saturated the soil from top to bottom, and then what I'm doing now is I'm going through each one and filling up that bottom reservoir. Again, it's probably 2-3 inches bottom reservoir. I'm filling that from that top spout, that white pipe that I installed. And yeah, that's it. I filled it up until it squirted out the back. And here's the finished product. As you can see, I have my thyme and all of the herbs installed. I like how it turned out. We'll keep you updated on how it works out. The plan is to just fill it up through that top 3/4 inch white pipe that I have sticking out every 2-3 days, and hope it works out. So thanks for watching, guys. Take care. Bye.